I know that this book is a continuation of your first book, but you don't necessarily have had to read. So what would people need to know going into this book from your last one?
Yeah, so this book follows Sybil Rain, who, if you read the first book, the setting of my first novel, Mistakes We Never Made, was on her wedding weekend, where she becomes a runaway bride. And so this kind of picks up with a year later, and she is, she's needing a vacation. It's been a year for Sybil. And if you've ever seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall, it definitely gives those vibes of like trying to go on a vacation and then you run into your ex and you're like, but for Sybil, it's exes on the beach. So it's a really fun read that gives you more insight to who this Sybil character is and why she would do some of the things that she does. She's very messy, but also I think really relatable for people.
I was going to say exes. There's a lot at play here. Is this inspired a little bit by Bachelor and all the, exes that would be roaming around?
It's funny, obviously I wrote this book a while ago, but with me being on Bachelor in Paradise, I was like, this checks out for this world that I'm in. But no, that I just love reading books where people have to figure out how to navigate tension. And so, I thought it was fun to have her have to really come up close with her past in a really fun way, to be able to kind of break through from that. And the real meaning of the book, it's definitely, layered with fun on the outside, but truly the inside of the book and what it's really about is learning how to love yourself, to be able to step into the future and the love that you deserve and actually receive it. You have to do some work for yourself. And so it's a really fun book, but also has a lot of depth.
Do you relate to this character that you've created?
I said when I first started these books, the idea came from these 4 friends, best friends, and each of those friends are kind of like a part of me. That is how their character became. And it's an exaggerated part of myself. So Sybil is an exaggerated version of myself that sometimes I can be a little bit ashamed about. She's really entertaining and fun, but then it's on the other side, it's like, your life decisions make your life entertaining for other people, but how is it actually affecting you? Yeah. And being able to write her story has been really cool for me, because I feel like I've kind of gone on this journey of growth and having to understand why I do the things that I do, and also learning to love myself and learning to love Sybil. And it's been really special, but definitely there are parts of her that are thoughts and feelings that I've had. Yeah.
One of the things that stuck out to us was Sybil kind of saying that she feels like Liam puts her in a box, who's Liam's obviously one of our fiancés, ex-fiancés. Do you feel like that, or do you feel like you've been put in a box in past relationships?
It's really easy in relationships to feel like you're fitting into someone else's world instead of living your own life. It can be really easy to do that, especially for women. I think you can just follow a man because that is how society was for so long. So I think in past relationships, I have felt stuck because I have gotten myself that way. So I think that's a very relatable experience for many women to have at some point during dating and relationships, and I am not unique in that. No, definitely not. We've all been there. Yeah.
What is it like to get to know that you kind of get to craft? Obviously, you created these characters. You're writing this book, and when it comes to the end game and who's gonna end up with who, we know this is it's Sybil's story, and it's kind of Sybil and Jamie's story, but do you ever think okay, we have Sebastian, we have Liam at play? Do you ever want to kind of almost throw out the playbook and have a crazy plot twist?
Oh, I always want to do that. Yeah. Because in real life, there's not always happily ever afters. But that's what's so great about reading romance is you're going to get a satisfying ending the way that you would hope it would be. But in real life, we're throwing things out the window all the time. But I'm really happy for Sybil in this story. And I think people will really be rooting for her in a true way to get to that happily ever after that she deserves. But
Yeah.
it's fun to think about different alternatives of what her life would be like. And with the way that the book is set up, there's, kind of like these like flashbacks where you could kind of see different sides of her, and you could imagine how she could be with these other love interests, but you're rooting for her with Jamie.
Yes, for sure. You definitely are. In those flashbacks, though, some heavy stuff. Was it hard to write maybe some of the more personal parts of Sybil's journey? There's, when we find out what really happened at the end of the first book, and you kind of get some light. What was it like kind of writing the heavier topics?
Well, it was important that the stakes be high for her because she ran away from her wedding.
Yeah.
So there had to be something that was like, that she believed was so wrong that she would have to kind of blow her whole life up. And I wanted that to be real and relatable. And so I had to pull from, maybe thoughts and fears I maybe have from my own life.
Yeah.
I have not had the same exact experiences as Sybil, but I think a lot of women feel pressure when it comes to, I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Like,
to say it without giving it away, yeah.
But women just feel a lot of pressure as to what they should be in their future and how it's supposed to go. And when you question if that is not going to be enough for you or enough for your partner, it can really throw you for a loop and make you do crazy things. And I think a lot of people are going to really resonate with Sybil's story and thought process. But from, a bird's eye view, you're like, what is this girl doing? And why would she do the things she does? But I think it becomes really clear why there's so much miscommunication, why there is this lack of trust, why there's this doubt and fear. And people, I think, will, like I said, just truly understand Sybil much more after reading this book.
100%. Well, weddings, obviously, a theme of the book.
Yeah.
A theme of your life right now.
A little bit.
How are you doing, Hannah? Are we stressed? Are we excited? Are we all of the above?
We are all of the above. I think you can have a lot of emotions at one time because I've got all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And France?
France.
How did we get to France?
Well, I didn't want to have a super big wedding.
Okay.
Initially, always kind of thought I would do some type of destination wedding. And how we got to France is Adam and I have gone to France a couple of times together and loved it. But we definitely had this moment of like, okay, are we really going to do a destination wedding? Like, it's a lot harder than you think it's going to be. And we have definitely figured that out. But we're so excited about it. It's going to be a smaller, more intimate wedding, which is what I wanted. And if we did it in Alabama or Tennessee, like, it just would become this big thing. And it still has become this big thing.
Of course.
But, I think it's going to be beautiful.
It will.
It's just going to take us a little bit.
Yeah.
It has taken us a little bit to kind of get out of the thick of the weeds of it all, because there's a lot more, like, the translating factor is tough.
Yeah.
But we have amazing wedding planners that are going to make sure that it's beautiful, but it's just been a really busy season too. So I'm just like all over the place. Feel like brides, we have it hard. But it's also like you're having this moment and it's amazing. Yeah. And it's tough planning a wedding for a bunch of people.
Especially in another country.
In another country where
they speak
they have a holiday every other day. I'm sorry, we'll get back to you in like 3 days. We have 3 holidays consecutively. And we're like, perfect.
You're like, great. We've seen you in a lot of dresses over the years from the Bachelor world. What's the vibe of the wedding dress? What can you say? Is it anything like we've seen you in before? I
feel like my style is pretty consistent now. Like, I just love something classic, feminine, beautiful. And I think people will not be shocked by what I pick. And it definitely can call back to some of my most favorite dresses, but I've never wore anything like this. Yeah. And I hope I never do again.
I'm sure you will.
So yeah, it's like one of those really big moments that you just dream of. So I'm really excited for everybody to see.
We were laughing because we have a gallery at UsWeekly of every time a bachelorette or runner-up has revealed what they did with a dress that like had like bad juju because of something Bachelor related, like a breakup or their proposal dress that didn't work out.
Yeah.
What did you do with your dress from The Bachelor? Do you remember? People have burned them.
No way.
Yeah, Claire and somebody else both burned them. Somebody donated it. Other people were like, I have no idea. But do you remember what you did with that dress?
I don't think I kept that dress.
Fair.
So who knows where it is?
Maybe in a museum somewhere.
It should be.
It should be. Was there any deal breakers or fun wedding things when you and Adam were planning that you were maybe surprised to learn, oh, he has really strong feelings about this aspect of our wedding, or I have really strong feelings that I didn't know I would care about this, or the other way where you were like, I thought I'd really care about this, but let's like let it happen.
Well, Adam has been really involved because I think, first off, it's a very busy season for me, and he knows that I need a little bit of help. So it's been so great for him to kind of step in and say what he likes and doesn't like. But he's like, at the end of the day, it's really what you want.
Oh, good. Perfect answer, Adam.
But I have needed the help because sometimes I have a hard time making decisions. It's the Libra in me. I don't know. And so he's really great just helping like get back to people. What has been challenging? I think just overall, this season of life has been so busy. And so just like having the time to sit down and go through some of the things that we need to like check off the box has been difficult, but we've been doing it. We've been making date nights out of it. Right now we're in the phase of like making the seating charts and picking out all the music. So it's fun, but we're down to like the last little things. I thought I would care. I say I'm like a type A person stuck in a type B body. Like I don't have the skills to do what I want to do. So then I just have to be like, it'll be what it'll be.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like I remember talking to you right after you got engaged, like 2 years ago around, and you were so candid about this story of like how anxious you were, and like you were like emailing your therapist to like SOS, like this or that, and then Adam still went through with the proposal, obviously, and you were so happy, but it was like you were so in your head and so anxious.
I stayed there.
You stayed there. I was gonna say, I feel like you seem much more like out of that.
Oh, I love that.
I feel I'm getting that. No,
Great.
it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. No, I have always struggled with anxiety. I don't like pretend that that's not something that's a part of my life, and especially when it comes to like big life moments. I mean, heck, it could be coming in and doing an interview. I can feel this like thing. So of course, when it comes to the biggest decision of your life, naturally I'm going to be all up in my head. But I have a great partner and I have great support, and it's awesome when everyone in your life is so rooting for your relationship. And when I can get in my head about things, people are just like, come on.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm like, honestly, I don't know. This is just what I do.
Yeah.
This is what I do. I mean, every day going to school as a child, I was like,
worked up.
Just like so messed up. So here we are. I was actually, they've been putting out my audition tape.
Oh, I saw that.
And I say that. I say something about me being like super anxious and in my head. I'm like, well, it all tracks and we're still there.
Okay, well, there you go.
I do think just overall, I am getting much better. But she's so crazy.
She's a little crazy. Real quick, few questions about Paradise. Last time I saw you, we were in Costa Rica.
Yes.
You were getting ready to start filming the season. We're starting feeling out how exactly it was going to work.
Yeah.
How did the role shape up? Did the outfit grow on you? Did the role come into place? Did you and Wells work well together? How'd it go?
Wells is great. We worked great together. The outfit, I feel like I rocked it.
You did. You looked great. We were telling you looked great.
But it was like, I'm used to wearing all the pretty dresses.
Yeah.
But it's a different role, and it, worked for the job. And I feel like my title and what I brought to the table evolved as the whole season goes on. But I would say I'm more Paradise Relations. I'm just there to like keep the vibes high.
Did you have any PTSD being back on like the Bachelor set? Or were you like, I have FOMO, I never got to do this part? Or were you just like, this is a totally different experience?
It definitely was surreal being back in the Bachelor world. But it was so different. It was such a different experience. It honestly felt like the first day of school at a new school that like you visited before, but I didn't know any of the cast really. There is new production that's a part of making this new season of Bachelor in Paradise. So it was great because I got to be a part of the show in a very different way, in a new setting and a fresh start with it, but also deeply connected to my roots.
Yeah. So no PTSD. You were good when you saw the roses at the rose ceremony?
Yeah, I know. I was good. I'm strong. We've healed-ish.
Okay, perfect.